Hello Taurus, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm preparing here now to do your reading, Taurus. I have been clearing my throat enormously to sit down here and do your reading. I still am. I feel like there's still this impact going on with Jupiter and Uranus. They're meeting up and they are in, I guess it's around, 1 degree from each other. They will really meet up on the 21st of April. And well, Jupiter is about expansion. It's about magnifying something. Uranus is about awakening. It's about sudden change. So we can have, something very big is being emphasized, something very big, maybe going through a break or some kind of change. Or something that we are regarding as powerful, like sometimes Jupiter is referred to as the father, is going through some kind of change. They are definitely, like they stand beside each other, these two magnificent gentlemen in the sky, and they are definitely influencing each other with two very different energies, but it can all come down to beautiful transformation. It may not feel like that, if you have felt something, because they are coming together in the sign of Taurus. So I have taken a bit of time before I actually sat down to do your reading, because I felt so much energy going on. I think it's very difficult to actually sit and do the readings if my body is going through a lot of stuff too, right? So what I get from this reading is, or kind of the energy, I'm trying not to put so much intro into it, because I do want to let the cards speak today. This round of readings. But I want to say there can be an energy here with a sense of identity shift, changing your mind. I have a lot of blue here. Changing your mind. Epiphanies, new ways of understanding something or speaking, because throat chakra is the light blue color. Is a throat chakra, so there can definitely be something about different boundaries, putting up more boundaries, being firm, more integrity, more something like that. But I have circled around trying to figure out what kind of word is actually popping up here for you. And I've had something like deserter, traitor, something like that. But it's not like a... I hear something like deserter of your trade. So to understand this energy, you have, like, it's not, I want to say, normal treason. This is something deeper than this. Like, this has to do with your deep roots, Taurus. Being a traitor to your roots, or being a traitor to your trade. So this has nothing to do with lying to a friend. It has nothing to do with that. This is something about it's about who you are, like your roots, where you come from. Like, let's say I've had something like, just as an example here, right? I've had something like paganism come up. Paganism, as opposed to Christianity and other religions or other ways, lifestyles or life choices or life directions. So I've been wondering if I have some kind of, like ancestral link to witchcraft or paganism. I have no idea because I have nobody around me living like that. Like my family trait, no one living like that. So I have no idea. But you see, it could be something like that. It's not like you have lied about or you haven't paid back some money you owed or something. It's not about that. This has something to do with more existentialism. It's a more profound way of understanding the words I just said. So I don't see you as a traitor, Taurus, right? It's not like that. It's more even something, if you can ask yourself if you have been a traitor to yourself, to your self in there. Are you, with the things you do every day, are you participating in something that actually is a treason to yourself, to your trade, to your kind, to your heart, perhaps, something like that. So let's have a look here. 3 of water. Three of water. So this is a little mermaid. She's holding 3 shells with a pearl in each of them. 3 of cups. It's interesting. I don't know exactly why, or whether I will come back to it. But it's like when I look at her, it's like this part of her tail, which is clearly like a fish tail, her mermaid tail. But for some reason, this feels highlighted to me like a skeleton, like the skeleton inside her, or what she consists of. I get almost a feeling of lightning. Like there's lightning going on in here. In her skeleton. Lightning going on in her skeleton. Specifically, maybe her legs. It is the leg area, or specifically maybe legs here. I feel like I want to look in the book for this one. Three of Water talks about celebration, enjoying community, sharing, exuberance, team spirit, and common goal, friendship. It is like that. It is like that. Like that is the Three of Cups energy. It's usually sometimes in the Rider-Waite Tarot, we see three young girls dancing with the cups, celebrating, dancing, having a festive good time. Could be partying. Maybe you have something to celebrate here. Why do I have this feeling of like electricity in, or like, yeah, electricity in the... Now I get like, you know, like a reference to Footloose, if you know that movie. It's like having energy in your body and you just need to dance or you just need to do something, right? The Footloose is a movie in the, 50s maybe, where like free expression dancing and may have been regarded as rigid and too much and dangerous and alluring and, you know, like dancing should be way more, you could say, calmer or something like that. It shouldn't be too fast, it shouldn't be too much, it shouldn't be too loud. But these young people still somehow manage to make these dance parties happen in secret. And they are, you know, again, I have this feeling of like electricity in the legs or in the lower body, like a sense of like needing to, that something wants to burst, right? Something needs to be, it's like having excess electricity that kind of just needs to be expressed somehow. But what they were doing, these young people in the Footloose film, were, it was against the stream, it was against what their parents told them. It was considered bad, it was considered ruthless, ruthless behavior. And if you went behind your parents' back, you would definitely be, you know, like acting or doing something that was a bit, or maybe, well, it was not a bit, it was like legally, in that town that I talk about in the film here, it was actually a law that you couldn't have dance parties. It was a law. Because there had been some previous experiences where something has been really bad. It ended very badly. And in order to not have that again, you made a restriction, a law. The dance parties couldn't happen, but they did it anyway. So for a reason, you could say that sometimes, I guess that there is a reason why there are certain laws, right? That could be one way of looking at it. That one way, there's a reason why there's a reason why you want to dance, and there's also a reason why you're not dancing. Let's say that. There's a reason why you want to dance, and there's a reason why you're not dancing, as in a bad memory or a bad experience or a... And now I get this treason, this thing again. Like there are so, and this is a water card, so it's emotional, right? There are deep emotions connected with this. Usually in the Rider-Waite Tarot, we see three people. Three people are dancing with each cup. Here we only have one. So there's only one person here, and she's like, when I saw this movie, when I saw this card, it felt like she was tossing around these shells here. Like, this one has now gotten here. She's going to throw it upwards now and catch it while the second one goes down and the next one goes here. So she's circling it, tossing it around and catching it, almost like she could dance with these shells. It's interesting, this is in the center. You are an earth sign, right? Taurus. So either you're thinking about someone here whom you would like to rejoice with, have community with, friendship with. It's like she has friendship, but she has it with these small pearls here. Like, why doesn't she party with some mermaid friends here? Yeah, I get in the root position, I get Queen of Gabriel. This is the electricity I feel. This is this, it says here, passionate, charming, brilliant, and independent. You can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. Now it's been a few days since I did the Aries reading. I can't recall if this one came out. No, it didn't. But like, this is Queen of Fire, right? It's a Queen of Fire energy. It wants to move. It wants to do something. It's passionate about something. Yeah, and for some reason, I'm normally quite not drawn to that, but for some reason, I'm drawn to the pictures here in the background. Like, and now my phone went down. It happened a few readings back. I'm sorry, it's just when that happens, I have to pause for a bit. It's like something has happened, that it has changed something. So she is dancing alone here with her shells. She has the fire in her to dance. She wants to dance. But I feel like, again, I had this focus on the pictures. It's almost like she's dancing with a picture. You know, or like a memory of someone. She wants to have community with someone. She's very feisty or very passionate about it. Go after what you want. That's definitely Queen of Fire, right? But then it's like she has these pictures here. And it feels to me like she's, like, you know, like the shells here are like the pictures. something she is, a pearl is important, right? It could be, you know, like someone who they want to celebrate or have community and friendship with someone, and they are very eager about this and very excited about it, but it comes across as they are pictures, you know, they are not what are in these pictures. One shows a bird here, and another shows maybe a person, maybe an animal. There could be a feeling here of wanting to celebrate something or be with someone or have friendships or have friends over or wanting to have a party here. But you're dancing with some shells or pearls in a shell. I get and again something about the pictures here. Something about have you seen a film? It's something that is shown every New Year's evening on television in Denmark. It's called the 90th Geburtstag, I guess, birthday. It's a little German black and white film. It's about this old lady. She's celebrating her 90th birthday. And there's this waiter that is very humorous, and the table has been set for some of her friends, some of her old acquaintances, but they are all dead, you know, they don't live anymore. So she has set the table, and the waiter is now impersonating each of these different persons around the table, you could say. So he talks like them and acts like them, and he eats and drinks or takes from the food and the drinks while he's also serving, you know. He's serving at the same time. So it's like wanting to have a party here, but those you want to have a party with are not there, not really. They are pictures here in your mind, or they are literally pictures, or ideas, fantasies, or yeah. You know, maybe they are real, like maybe they are real people, but how you see them and how you want to engage with them is a fantasy. Like let's say that I guess this comes with all young adults, for instance, right? They know they moved out, and then they are invited to, let's say, a birthday party here at their parents' house. So they come at their parents' house, and the parent wants to celebrate the birthday and is happy that they are there. But the children that are now adult and they live their own life, the parent sees them still as these small shiny pearls. So it's like someone has a vision of something here that is not true, right? It's not the reality. It's a hope, I guess. It's a hope. It's maybe a need, a hope and a need that my young ones that come to this party, that it's going to be friendly and fun and joyous and everything. And I want to keep that picture in my mind, right? That this is what I want to manifest. I want it to be a nice, good time. I want to celebrate with my pictures here. I want to celebrate with the idea that I have of someone in my head, but actually they have way outgrown that, perhaps. Like having a, let's say this is someone who is celebrating their 90th birthday, as I just mentioned. The children that are coming are maybe 50, 60 years old, right? They are not small pearls. They are not small pearls like that. They are not infants. They are not someone you can push around, or it's not someone they may be pearls, like they're dear, like she holds them very dear. She cares for them. She's very happy about them. She loves them very much. And maybe she would prefer that there is happiness and community between them. But you see, maybe these are now 50, 60 years old and they can't stand each other. But someone could be holding on to some kind of idea here in their mind that this is what they want to have, right? They want to have the happy, joyous family. They want to have the good siblings, or they want to have this good time together, right? Someone holds on to maybe memories here that are, well, yeah, it's true that at some point they were these pearls, 12 years old, 6 years old, but now they are 50 or 60 years old, right? And like they cannot put in a frame, they cannot be put in a frame like that, like the good daughter or the good son or something. The good little boy, or what I assume or hope or need them to be, right? So I get a bit of fantasy here also, like a dream, a hope, a need, maybe. That I need my fantasy to be real, or I need it to there's something about this energy here, like it's bursting, lightning, it's something is happening here with this fire here. It's like I want to make this happen, right? I want to make this happen with someone or something. But for some reason it's in these shells, like small pearls. And pearls are considered beautiful, and some of them can be quite expensive, right? We can call dear ones sweet names like pearl, right? We can see something as our pearl, something beautiful, something we wanna, like she has them in these shells here, so she's not tossing the pearls around. She's tossing these shells around with the pearl in it, so like it's protected by the shell, right? So we wanna have these protected pearls. And that is what she is engaging with. And she's very considerate, very concerned about it. So these pearls here could be children, right? They could be children around someone here. That she is quite, I feel like she's using a lot of energy here on them. But also, I want to say it's like some of the energy is actually to like they're kept small or kept young, or that there is this particular way of looking at them. But that's only half of it. Because when they leave the house and go to school, or when they participate with friends, they act very differently. Do you get my point? Again, this idea of having the perfect family around the table. But when they go out in the world, they could be doing things behind your back that you don't know about. I have this idea of needing to act in one way, and then when you are out in the free or wild, you do something else, right? Then you're actually yourself. So this could have been, a mother maybe, and how she was viewing her children, or how you grew up. And when you were out and about, you did something quite different. You were actually quite naughty, or maybe you were quite, I don't know, you broke into houses, or you made all kinds of fuss, right? But when you come home to mom here, you're this perfect picture, right? Or she wants it to be like that. She would prefer you, when you come home, that you just go along with what you've learned. You go along with the role I gave you, right? Go along with the role I gave you. That's what I expect of you. That's what I hope, and that's what I expect of you. So go along with the role I gave you, right? This could, of course, be anger. I don't know if there could be some kind of anger here. Or very passionate about keeping a certain dynamic flowing, maybe. And using your energy on keeping some kind of dynamic flowing. But again, I get this feeling it's not real. Like, we can't keep people in a shell like this forever, right? And again, what are you engaging? You're not engaging with another mermaid here. It feels very small. It's like you're engaging with eggs. Or you're engaging with someone here is engaging with eggs. Something that hasn't even hatched yet. But for some reason, I also get a feeling of like not wanting to. It's like it's supposed to be like that. This is how we party best, right? This is how we celebrate best, when things are like this. And someone being very passionate about keeping it that way, I feel like. So yeah, there is a celebration, but it's a, or there is a community, or there is a, I feel like, well, it could be like like a celebration, enjoying community, sharing, exuberance, team spirit, common goal, and friendship. Yeah, we like, if we just stick to this, it's a common goal. But is it? Like, is it a common goal to, well, keep something safe, yes, but not keep it small, right? Keep it small is probably not the right thing. Eventually, these pearls will hatch. Eventually, they may need to go somewhere else. Eventually, she is... I feel like she's enjoying herself very much, juggling this. Of course, this could be something else. If it's not persons here, it could be things that you enjoy juggling something here. Juggling, let's say, something you're quite passionate about. Let's say that all of these shells represent music in some way, different kinds of music. This would then be someone who dances a lot to a lot of music, that the one she is engaging with is music, or what she is engaging with is cooking or baking, or what she is engaging. So these are items, right? items or music or tools or something. Very small, fine tools. But she likes that. This is how she celebrates, or who or what she celebrates with here. And very passionate about it. Again, I get these pictures. It's by pictures. It would be like I take this one and this one, right? And then I make a party. But they are, well, they're beautiful, right? But you know what I mean. They are not what we would call alive. They are a picture or a figure of something. It's a form. It's glass. It's a doll, you could say. It's a doll. Or as I said here, it's like a... Well, when we look at the pictures here, I get something like wanting to celebrate something with, let's say, the bird phoenix, or wanting to celebrate something with Buddha, or wanting to celebrate something with Ganesh or something. And these energies or these names, they refer to an energy, right? It refers to an energy of something, but it's not, with you. There is no phoenix bird right beside you there. So you are celebrating with something that is, or someone is here. Celebrating or wanting to create a bond or having community with something that is not quite there. This could be someone who tries to manifest something, right? They want to, again, they have these pictures. So this could be, well, if people go into meditation, temples, there can be a picture of someone there, like a guru, right? And you sit there and you meditate for the meditation, but also maybe to get into contact with this guru, or looking for information, hoping that this guru wants to provide you with some kind of answers or some kind of guidance or something. So it's like having a party with, I hear shrine, having a party at a temple or a shrine with something here, and being very passionate about it. Again, these shells here, maybe they are offerings, like maybe someone is offering, money or something beautiful here, in the attempt of having some kind of, now I get something like Kundalini energy, Kundalini rising energy. That could definitely go with the fire energy here at the root center. So feeling perhaps throughout your legs or something, maybe even further up towards the stomach, maybe towards the heart chakra, like an energy boost or something. And then I have in the top area here, I have the vision quest. Like this, it almost feels a little bit like the phoenix bird, right? Like someone who is on a quest, rising, spreading their wings, flying. It could be that what you are doing here is that you are juggling between three people, that you are celebrating and having community with three people here. But then it's like one particular pearl here stands out at some point. One particular pearl stands out and is now becoming this is like the real one. Like this is, you could have been considering perhaps several partners, or several people to celebrate with or have community with or friendship with. But then it's like this one stands out and becomes now your vision quest, or maybe what you wanna, let's say, invest in, or it becomes what you wanna invest in, take flight towards, seek more information about. It could be, something like like having three different, let's say you have three different hobbies here: music, baking, cooking, teaching, or dancing, or something. And now it's like you're trying to figure out which one to choose as the one you really want to pursue here. Because you do have, I feel like, energy here, that there is something sparkling here. I get this feeling of like footloose, right? Like these young people, it's just like when you have like when the hormones of teenagers are racing through their bodies. It's like sometimes they just can't seem to hold them, right? It's like they need an outlet in some way. It needs an outlet. It needs, it's like, I want to use this energy to burst something or build something or do something. I want to do something with this energy, right? I just don't know. I just don't know what exactly. I could be, I could be, like celebrating here and then, or just enjoying myself here with juggling all of these three. But it's like when I do that, I never really get anywhere. Like this could be the one that actually takes you somewhere. Like again, as I said with Jupiter, Jupiter wants to magnify. Jupiter is considered the planet of the 10th house, the work. So work, right? It can be about Jupiter is considered also a planet of abundance, happiness, joy, maybe most fun, most being alive. I get also from this card feeling alive again, feeling like I can fly, feeling free, maybe, feeling expressing yourself. Like she looks like a dancer to me, right? Like she's just fully and utterly expressing herself here. Like there is no way of closing down or trying to be, what can I say? Like, well, she's not civilized. She's not civilized here. She spreads her wings. She just shows, like, she shows herself as she is. She's not afraid. She's not embarrassed. She doesn't feel ashamed. She is just expressing herself fully and utterly here, right? which you may have had like a real, true feeling or passion to do for a very long time. It may have been underwater here a bit, but now this fire is, like coming to a get-go. This could also be like, if we actually look at that, it's like fire underwater having an expression. This could be like a volcano eruption, a volcano underwater that starts to show itself, right? So I don't know if something like that is happening in the world, but you get my point of it. It's like it has been here. You have been working with it. It has sparkled here. Even underwater it has sparkled. And now it's like you can't keep it in anymore. Now it's actually coming out. Now you are feeling it, you are seeing it, you are actually knowing it. Again, we could see this planet as Jupiter or Uranus, like pushing you forward here to somehow finally take a stand, finally embrace this Kundalini, like push forward in some direction. Yeah, I see you a bit like embracing the idea of being the bird phoenix, right? I get also a bit like, what is she called, from the Hunter Games? What is she called? Well, the main character, the woman, in the Hunter Games, right? Like the way her dress was on fire, right? Yeah, this feels a bit like someone has a dress on fire here. And finally, it's like it glitters, it sparks, it can't be held back. Something that has been here is now coming to the surface. It shows itself in many, many ways. Perhaps something like, the way you dress, maybe the way you conduct, like your posture, or again, you take a stance on something here, right? I do get a feminine vibe of this, so I feel it's very much about expression. Like if we see these two cards here, right? She's this beautiful queen that sits on her throne, but she is, well, she's very beautiful, and she's probably very talented and charming and everything, but she sits there and she is well dressed and maybe well mannered and everything. Again, I get this feeling of maybe you have been trying to manifest something here. Manifest maybe the willpower here, this fire energy that I feel like going through almost like your bones and everything. Maybe you have tried to, like, because this queen is beautiful, but what if she doesn't want to be this queen? What if she wants to be this phoenix bird here that just flies away from her responsibilities, maybe here as a queen? Maybe she wants to free herself, right, and go somewhere else. Again, I get something about thinking bigger. She sits on this throne and it's okay, right? But then look at this one. Look at this giant in the background here. Like something about thinking bigger, way bigger, more abundant, or more satisfied, greater satisfaction, maybe more passion, maybe more fire, maybe more but you see, when someone does this, when someone bursts out and suddenly expresses themselves in a very, a very different way than this queen, I believe it's because, or it can, for this one, I guess it's beautiful, right? It's a beautiful transformation for others who are watching this. Like they could see this as a destruction, like they are destroying their career, or they are destroying their life, or they are going the wrong way, or, as I said, traitor or deserter. This feeling you are leaving everything behind that we have built or what we have created or something to do this, right? To do this. Like, why? But for who is doing this? The one who is doing this, for them this is freedom. For them this is reaching higher. For them it is to take that flight and fly away off the nest, Someone wants to fly off the nest. And I actually get both energies. I have one who is, like the parent here, who has been juggling maybe 3 children or something, 3 parties, 3 things here. And then I get someone who bursts out, and this could easily be one of these the pearls here. It could of course also be the caretaker here, the one that has been making sure that these are protected and that they are, that they are taken care of, and every day is just going, the queen here, a mother, maybe a queen who is in charge, who is, probably charming and everything, and she has been taking care of something here. But I feel like something has been triggering or bursting here, or flaming or lightning here somehow. Something has been on the verge of appearing, and now it's like it's here, right? Now it's here, out in the open. This can be the way you move, it can be the way you, again, the vision quest can be like a clairvoyance, it can be like a clairvoyance breakthrough, it could be with the vision here. The vision quest can also be that you have a vision board and you have lined up things that you would like to manifest in your life, and this is what you are attempting, right? And maybe you are going on this quest now, you are literally pursuing something or taking the first step towards something. That's kind of what I feel like. We have the full moon in Scorpio coming up, just a few days after these 2 giant planets meet up. So on the 23rd, 24th of April, we have the full moon in Scorpio. And Scorpio is about like death, transformation, rebirth. It is about the change. It is about this, the thing that we can't hold, right? We can't keep it. As I said, if someone has been, like having this dream or this hope or this need, that something just has to stay the same. It has to stay small, or it has to stay, let's say, codependent perhaps here, right? Then it's like that these here, that they must stay small, like small children, and that we keep the children small, because then we can better embrace them, or we can better embrace their behavior, or we can control them in some way, or we can steer them, or we can make them, that we can teach them, and they can learn from us, and we are the big ones, like we are the one in charge. We are the queen or the king, right? We are the ones that are in charge. And now there is this because I did feel that, like the feeling of wanting to be around and having community, but with the shells and the pearls, not with other mermaids, right? Not with other mermaids. Mermaids are not small like that. Like they would maybe request other things. They could swim away. These pearls cannot swim, right? They are in the ball here. They cannot swim away. They stay here, you know. So this is someone who has the ability to swim away. And she's playing with something that cannot. Like it cannot just swim away from her or leave her, or so she is celebrating with something that can't leave, you know. Do you get my point of that? It's like it has no choice here. It has no choice. It's utterly dependent on who is juggling them or who finds them. Like now it was this mermaid finding these pearls, but it could have been someone else, right? But she holds on to them because she can. She can store them somewhere. She can get them out again if she wants to. But she can swim away at any time, but they can't. Do you see the difference here? Like if she was celebrating with another mermaid, that mermaid could leave. They could decide never to show up to the party. This is someone who, it feels stagnant, right? Like celebrating with something stagnant or something that doesn't have a mind of its own. You know, it could be, you know, you have 3 dogs here. But your dogs are yours, so you keep them, or they are indoor, or you have them in some kind of garden or something. And they can't leave, right? Because they are dependent on you. So they stay. They stay. And they can't leave, right? That's what I feel like. And then there's this idea of the pictures. Like someone is celebrating or trying to have community with something that can't leave, I feel like. Again, or it doesn't have a will of its own. Let's say someone has a fantasy here. They have a dream about something. As long as it's her dream, it exists. Let's say if this one is a writer, she could be writing on 3 different books here. One about, let's say, a sea adventure. One about a country adventure. One about a science fiction adventure. But then they can't sustain themselves alone. It's in her mind. It's her imagination that creates this, right? She is the driver. It's her fire that creates this and makes it visible to others. Maybe at this point in time, it's just something she is juggling with in her head, you know, ideas here of something. Like an egg, right? That it's still just an egg. It hasn't really hatched. It hasn't really... But then it's like she decides which book to write. And then she goes for it, right? But as long as it's in her head, it's only hers. Like it doesn't live or have life on its own. Does that make sense? Like it's still just an idea in her head. It hasn't manifested itself. It hasn't grown yet. It hasn't, and it cannot stand alone. Like these shells cannot stand alone. It needs her to somehow juggle it. Like it can stand alone being a pearl like that, but it can never be a giant pearl, right? To make it a giant pearl, you have to do something about it. So if these are small ideas here you have in your mind, let's say that, and you're trying to have fun with this, you're trying to celebrate these ideas that you have, or celebrate yourself, or that you are now in a process of trying to manifest something here. Perhaps, like that these pearls are supposed to somehow change something for you. Maybe to change your life, change your circumstances, change your money, perhaps, even though she is a queen here. It could be that she would like and is trying to manifest a different life for herself. And she has had several ideas here that she is now like going on this quest to see if she can magnify something, make it bigger, right? Maybe you have a sense of breakthrough, Taurus, during this time when Jupiter and Uranus is meeting up. Like this has been going on for a while. Now they are in about 1 degree difference from each other. But I have felt this for probably a few months now, that they are getting closer and closer. It's a very slow process, as is it when they are leaving again. Like so, from the 21st of April, it will still be a few months actually before they are quite separated again. So there could be this feeling of really wanting to like maybe invest in something, see if you can make something grow, or what you are experiencing here is someone who breaks out of their shell, becomes this phoenix bird, breaks out, flies away. It could be some, as I said here, if these are children here, that you see this child just like really grow up, and become utterly invested in adulthood, becoming utterly invested in being independent out there, utterly invested in wanting to leave, and is taking flight. So you are, maybe this is on your mind here, that someone is taking flight, someone I have cared about for so long here. And we have a community together, if this is family, right? And now they're leaving. And even though I want them to leave for some reason, right? Even though if these are children, right? Even though I want them to leave, even though I want them to take this quest here, even though I want them to go and explore this, to like fly. Of course I could be wondering if this is, if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, or even, as I said, this deserter traitor. It's like, but I would prefer you to just be here, I still have this feeling of like a sense of like an enmeshed situation, especially if these are children, right? Something about like like this mother, she's looking at these children's photos from when they were 8 years old. And this is how she's interacting with them, even if they are 40 now. She's still interacting with them as if they were 8 years old. She expects them to act in a certain way. She corrects them. She's disciplining them, maybe. She's giving them all kinds of advice. She's correcting the way they eat, things like that. And she wants them to stay in this frame, Like she wants them to be according to the frame. It seems a bit, I would say it would be narcissistic or something like that, if these are children. That's what I want to say. Only if this is children, right? I just get, it's like I get different information, so you just bear with me about this. But the first one that came in was this idea of that first of all, they are shells and pearls. They are not a mermaid. So she's dealing with something that is smaller. It can't leave, or it doesn't have the same kind of abilities as she does. She can swim away, right? She can put them down, store them somewhere. They cannot fly or swim away. by themselves. They need something to, it's like a ball. A ball in itself cannot do much. But if you take it and throw it, then the ball can do something. It needs an energy activator. Then the ball can do a lot, right? But the ball in itself just stays there. It's like it doesn't come alive. We could even say that, like as I said here, these could be different novel stories. These could be different characters. Again, this one is probably nice in itself, but it becomes even more interesting if you try to sit with it and try to communicate with it. It makes it more alive. But this in itself does not. This in itself has no big value. It's only if I give it one, right? If I give it a value, if I look at this one and I give it honor, I put honor on it, I put virtue on it. I see it as a virtuous image, an icon, an icon here. It could be religious icons, as I just said, or just an icon. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's like an icon, like wanting to interact with an icon in some way. And then trying to become it, become like it, or there's something about magnetizing here. Again, she could sit on a throne here and actually be quite comfortable here as a throne, as a queen here. But then it's like she's been doing something quite passionately, trying to work with something. Again, there could be different ideas. There could be children, as I said, it could be different. But I feel like it can't move. Like it in itself cannot move. So again, if you have, let's say you have three, if you are very good at drawing. So you have been drawing 3 different princesses, right? 3 different princesses on your drawing pad. They are in themselves not, well, they're probably beautiful, but they are not active, you know? They are static like these, passive like these. It's only if you decide this princess is the one I go for, now I make her alive. I put her into animation film or something, then I can get her alive, right? It's like you wanna now I get, you know, like a holographic person or a holographic icon. Like having, let's say you adore some kind of singer, right? And you're trying to make them real in your life. Because of course they live in Hollywood or something, but you know, it's like wanting to make them real in your life. So like making sketches of them, having lots of pictures around with them, and attempting to be like them, you know. Let's say you dance like them, you there's this, what is that? But you know what I mean. It's like copying their moves, copying their ways of singing, copying their fashion, like becoming like them, right? and you have been trying to figure out which one of these icons to choose, and then going for it. I feel like there's this kundalini or this urge, this, again, as I feel like the footloose, it's like I have to do something about it. I have to go towards them, or I have to make this question. I have to see what happens if I go on this quest towards it, right? If I get closer to it, if I make it bigger here. And again, I get the feeling both of being the mermaid, but also the little pearl here. And here it's like the pearl has become very big, right? And it's taking flight, and it's testing itself, testing its wings, like testing the crowd, you know, like, will people like this? Will this be a success if I make this animation film about this princess that I've selected? Or this, I don't know, monster, or whatever you have decided on here. Is it what is it going to be like? Is it going to be, let's say, a computer game or something that you have created, a creature or something, and you have had 3 of them here, right? They are in themselves not active. But when you put them into a computer game and you start to design the computer game, the realm that they're in and the mission or whatever they want to do, now it becomes alive. Now it can be tested. Now it's visible. Now it's sellable also. It's something that can be seen. It's not just something you have in your mind. It's not just something that is that you have been playing around with in your mind, trying to manifest perhaps. Now it's actually here, you know. Maybe it's an offer, you know, that this big planet here is an offer. Someone saw your little spoiler film about something, and they want to take it to the next level here and make it bigger, right? That can also be it, right? That there is this need to magnetize something, make it bigger, a bigger offer coming your way, or you making a bigger offer, or you making a more very clear statement about something. But then I have this deserter and this treason traitor idea also that has been circling for the last few days. And I think it has to do with when someone does this. Let's say this is an explosion in sales, that you have something you have been working on here, and now it suddenly has this explosion in sales, right? That suddenly it has a real lift off here, and you become a success like that overnight. You have sold 2 million items or something, right? Or 200, it has 2 million views or something. It becomes this overnight amazing just lift off, right? Then people can become envious. Maybe you change league. Let's say you go from let's say middle class income, which is great, here, to actually now you become like one of the like leading in your field. But that can feel like, and I said something about a traitor to your trade, didn't I? Something about that, like, but what you're doing here is a traitor to your trade. So again, we have a queen here. Let's say someone is choosing to step down from the throne. You know, like, I don't know if that is actually happening somewhere, but you know, someone who is deserting their royalty, I don't know, title or something. It would be something like deserting your title. And the title can be connected with the trait that you have. So if you are royalty or nobility, well, you have, there is a certain expectation that you sit here, right? That you sit here and you do whatever you do here. And not to choose not to. Like, here you can say someone sits in their queenness here, and then she's doing something to change everything around here, following something that is a big quest of hers. And let's say it could be that she is stepping totally down from this queen state of maybe responsibility, I don't know. And she's saying, I want to be a painter, a full-time painter. I'm out. I want to live by the sea. I have this amazing idea in my mind, what I want to do with my life. I have been juggling these different ideas, and now I know where to go and what to do, and I'm doing it, you know. So stepping down from something that you may have been quite passionately involved in this, but you know, you could be stepping down, changing something, wanting it to be different, or wanting it to be more ecstatic. Like, look at her, more ecstatic, right? More blissful, more ecstatic. Maybe explosive, but, well, something that is it would be the same as if you take one from royalty, right? One from royalty, and they are stepping down here to become a full-time dancer. Because it's their hobby, or it's a hobby perhaps, but it's a passion of theirs, right? To become a full-time dancer, and they say goodbye to nobility here. That would be like a traitor to your trade, right? The trade is that you belong to nobility. You have to somehow act in this way. You have to be part of the dinners and the conversations and all this stuff. And someone is just, you know, no, I want to walk into the woods here and dance at night to the moon or something, you know. I don't want to be this one here. I want to spread my wings. I want to, maybe I am passionate and charming and brilliant and independent. Maybe I am that. And maybe I sit, that I actually have this fine throne I can sit in. But I wanna breathe, right? I wanna breathe. I wanna feel the wind on my cheeks. I wanna express myself. I wanna swirl in the wind. I wanna taste the raindrops, right? I wanna sing with the moon or something, you know, something like that. And when you do that, it's like you become this traitor to your trade, you could say, or because you have a job here perhaps, or you belong somewhere. Usually we have family, or we have friends. We are connected into this world we live in. We have responsibilities, and it could be that someone is just saying, yeah, but I'm out. I'm done, right? I'm done. I'm out. And I want to go, I don't know. I want to go swim in the sea at night. I want trespass. You know, I wanna, or that someone is saying this, right? That stop treating me like I'm 8 years old. I'm a full grown woman here, or I'm a full grown adult. I do what I want, right? You can't stop me, or something like that. That's what I feel like. And again, I have this feeling it could be you, Taurus, but it could be also someone you're dealing with. So it's like I have like both sides of the story here to something. You could be witnessing someone doing this, or it could be you doing it, right? You could be the mermaid here, but you could also be the one in the shell. But there's definitely something happening with fire here in us. And I think it's all of us actually. That there's something happening with our life force fire, right? That something is stirring here. And how we want to conduct our life and how we want to live it, right? Something like that. Can I have another card on the 3 of water here? Okay, interesting. Yeah, I get justice card. Fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor. Don't give up. It's an interesting card because it talks about the scales, right? And inequality and whether something is in balance or not. So I see Taurus here seeking more balance in life, and again, it could be that you have been juggling, because I did get that, like she's juggling these three shells here. Like you have 3 people around you, or you have 3 jobs, you have 3 children, and you attend to them, right? But then I get this feeling that they, and again, I feel like they can't move on their own. Like it feels like it's, it needs your energy, you would say. It needs your energetic adding. Like you're adding something to make something juggle, to keep it flowing or something, right? You're adding some energy into keeping something that otherwise seemed quite stagnant. As I said, it in itself cannot really do something. It in itself is not. And maybe you're wondering here that is not right, right? That I can't keep this up, or I don't want to keep this up anymore. Justice would be about, it's a major arcana. It has to do with balance, right? Fairness, balance, equality. Needing a break perhaps here, right? Needing to pursue something else, I feel like. Can I have another card on this Queen of Gabriel here? Okay, so I get a High Priestess here for the Queen of Gabriel here. And this makes sense, right? Because usually when I see this card, it's like she's there, but she's behind some kind of veil. We can see a bit of her here, right? But then it's like the rest of her head and the rest of her body and so on is kind of just hidden. It's like she's just only showing a bit of herself here, just a little bit, right? But the rest is behind a veil. You can't really see her much. And I feel like maybe there is a spark in you, that wants to pursue something that this High Priestess is asking you to explore in yourself, I guess. again, I get this feeling of roots, right? Like that if this is the high priestess in you, that is maybe your true passion, right? Your true passion could be this high priestess, but she may not have, shown up yet. Like she's, again, I get this, she's there, but she's not there. And then it's been molding here. Trying to balance your life, I feel like, with some of her as well, right? Some of her as well. Like she could have been all covered, not there at all. And now it's like you're taking some of the veil off to explore who she is here and what she can do. And then it's this feeling that, again, because a high priestess, well, I said in the beginning something about paganism and witches and something like that. And like the story of witchcraft and paganism and people like this, high priestess people, well, they have a dark story, right? They have a dark story because they have been hunted down and they have been burned on the stake and they have been, threatened and tortured and hanged and all kinds of stuff. Because they were considered devils or, the mistresses of devil, and that what they were doing were not in accordance to Christianity and purity and something like that. So to make this one appear, well, maybe it is to gain a more sense of balance, but I don't feel like it's an easy one. Here, what I said here is that you could be juggling, let's say these are different religions or different, as I said, paganism. There could be something about, let's say, paganism, let's say shamanism here. And then there could be even another one. It could be like literally an educated doctor here, or it could be something like religion here, right? So this one, it's like she's asking to be seen, or she's asking if you want to listen to her here. And I think it's for balance. It's like otherwise you are not, you can't, it's like she has to be there somehow, right? Like there is a part of her that must be here. If only, like if she's totally shut down here, that you're not letting her guide you or anything, then you would probably feel disconnected somehow in life, right? It would feel like you are not whole, maybe. I feel like, yeah. It's like you would not be whole, I think, if she's not there somehow. And then I have the one-letter card on the vision quest here. And I get the Lover's card here. It is reversed though. Okay, have a look at this card. Look at how she is. She's like she almost looks the same as this one, right? How she's bending backwards here and just letting herself fly or flow in the arms of something here. She flows in her arms here. But if you look at him a bit closer, it's like he's a ghost. He's transparent. He's not like a real person beside him. Again, I get this feeling of dreaming about someone, or there's someone here whom she is idealizing, who is the lover, but they are maybe not there, you know. I've had this come up for Scorpio a lot, actually. This idea like he's not here, is reversed here. So again, reversed Lover's card is like it could be a lover, right? But they're not there, or they are not present. Or perhaps they are, what we are seeing here is actually the opposite, that because here he looks like a ghost, like a fantasy, something she dreams about, the dream lover, the dream man, right? But here he looks like he is transparent in some way, right? He's there, but he's a spirit or something. But here, when it's reversed, it could also indicate that this dream is over, that you actually make a choice, right? That you do make a choice to pursue something here, because you just can't not do it. Like it's like attempting. Maybe the idea that I don't want to be alone, right? I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want to just dream about having someone in my life who can hold me here. But actually I do have something. So maybe you are like the people here, it could be, because it is in the center, as the center card is always important. Who would we be the one that actually allows me most balance in life, right? Who would be the one who could hold me, right? Who would be the one that is right for me? And I just have this feeling of trusting that I'm doing this, and it's for my balance. It's because I have to. I feel like I'm following some kind of intuitive, maybe ability, because the High Priestess can do stuff, right? She's an alchemist in some way, right? Maybe she's trying to do something here about manifestation of a certain pearl. Of a certain pearl here. The vision quest, we could also say, is like, yeah, I say taking flight. I also, like, as I said, this can be a novel, right? That you're wondering some kind of theme for a novel. And the vision quest can be that now you actually start writing this love story, right? Now you're pursuing it. Now it has been in your mind for so long. Who is the right one that could balance me? Who is the one that could help me? Or who is the one that can hold me even? Because I do feel like there's something about this utter release and just bending back over, and who is there to catch me feeling. Who is there to catch me, right? Like this again here. Like I do feel that feminine energy wants to be held in some way, like that they flourish best if they know that something is there to hold them somehow, right? But this is reversed, so maybe you're giving up some kind of idea and you're pursuing something else here. Something that can actually hold you. Lovers reversed. I could get astral travel from this, like dreamscape. Yeah, it feels it feels quite it feels dreamlike. It feels that there is something about engaging with pictures or old memories, ideas or icons of someone or something, someone who may or may not be alive or here. I've had that a lot for Scorpio, actually, several times for Scorpio, and now it shows up here. Maybe it's because this full moon in Scorpio is here. Maybe you're choosing, again it's reversed here. Normally the cards are not shown like that. Like the Lovers card usually show two people, right? And they are very much alive and very much embedded with each other. Very much holding hands, very much. Here it looks like one is alive and one is a dream or a transcendent or transparent or a spirit or, yeah, again, a fantasy or something. But it's reversed, so it's something like not wanting to maybe hold on to a fantasy. I'm choosing some kind of quest here. I need one more card on the vision quest here. So I get the call card. I've seen she looks very angelic to me with these wings, right? A call. Maybe someone is calling you here. So now you are embarking on something that may have been a dream at some point. And maybe you have fantasized about someone, but now it's reversed. Now it's no longer just a dream. Now it's actually something you can pursue. There's a call here to pursue something. You're listening to some kind of call. You're trying to go there. An intuitive call to go there somehow. I believe there are several things that can make a person actually transform. Many people will say people don't change, right? I do think that they change, but it takes something. I've said in the Capricorn readings a lot that Capricorns have gone through a lot of change during, I believe, probably centuries. Capricorn energy is about ending up in a situation that is so hopeless that there is no other way but changing. Like being lost in the middle of a snowstorm. And there is no way of getting help or anything. you're lost there for days and weeks, and you can only see yourself decline, becoming more and more of an animal, and changing your ways and your instincts and everything, because there is no other way if you want to survive, at least. So pressure, enormous physical and elemental pressure perhaps, can change a person. Love can change a person. Sometimes people do the most awkward thing for love. Sometimes they're willing to go through the most strange or even terrible things to find the one that they love, right? To be with the one that they love. And sometimes it happens, like sometimes you end up with the one that you love and the one that you have always dreamt about. And sometimes it's in vain, that nothing happens. You are still alone, or you're still not with the one that you had in mind. But it seems like there's a call. Maybe someone calls you. And you are now, from being maybe in doubt here, you are now going, right? You're going. This can, of course, also be a card where we are talking about maybe not just someone, fantasizing about someone. It could be the feeling that, that someone is leaving, right? That someone is leaving, and you can literally feel how they are becoming less and less and less here. Someone who would normally be there, right? Someone who would normally have held you here, and how they are no longer doing that. Maybe you can feel someone leaving, and that makes you want to go on some kind of quest or fight for something. Maybe that's the call you have here. The sense that something is happening somewhere, and you're supposed to do something. You hear a call here. You hear a call to do something. Perhaps because someone is not responding. You want it back, perhaps, right? Again, the big moon, I said that it can be the feeling that we even have one in the background here as well, right? That here. That the feeling that someone is slipping away. Someone could be slipping away. You don't want them to slip away, and that's why you do something. You feel like you hear a quest, or you are on a quest. But the vision quest can be a clairvoyant one, right? It can be something psychic. You just feel it. You can hear it. Like your clairaudience, your intuition tells you that you should take action on something. And it's just, you don't, like... It could be you're reaching out to someone here. One more card. on this vision quest. Contract, interesting. Contract. Contract is like a marriage, right? It's the one that, again, it's the one. Like it's the lover, right? It's the one. Again, we have the scales here. She is blindfolded holding these scales and is trying to attempt to get an equal amount of weight in these scales. Somehow I get the feeling that there is something about feeling the need to break out of something that maybe wasn't love, something that wasn't your lover here. You thought it was, but it wasn't. It wasn't the father. It wasn't this big, beautiful energy that would hold you safe if you actually embraced your wings. When you sit like this, maybe, but not if you actually, you know, like really let your guard down or really show everything about yourself. They will probably not hold you, right? They were probably not that lover. The balance card, I feel like there's balance twice here. Justice can happen in a court system, like if a divorce is settled in the court. Something about breaking free, being the phoenix that flies away, feeling this call to do that. Again, this feeling of traitor, right? Like you are leaving something that is a contract. You've agreed to this, so now you should stay, right? But needing to leave it if it's not a love, like if you're not with a lover here, someone who's not protecting you, or someone who, as I said here, has kept you small in some way, never allowed you to develop, never allowed you to grow up, or never allowed you to somehow have your own free will. It's not love, right? It's not keeping you safe, actually. Well, maybe it's keeping you safe for in a moment, but not in the long term. It's not keeping you safe. Someone wanting to leave on a vision quest for someone who can, for someone who actually can hold me, right? But needing to get out of some kind of contract. Or agreement, or responsibility, perhaps. But contract seems written, right? It's it feels like it's written down, or there is definitely some kind of bind or bond or tie. She stands here in white clothes, indicating for me innocence, or that there were no bad intentions with this. But also the blindfold, that kind of tells me that maybe this contract was not that equal here. Again, this card is a purple card that usually tells me something about that is intuitive, like that this has to do with your crown chakra, justice, your mind, how you justify things. And again, from this card, an intuitive nudge, an intuitive understanding that you see through the veil of something, that something has not been, it may be a contract, but it was not a good one. It wasn't based on love. And even if it seemed like it was not a real one. It was a fantasy. It was a dream, perhaps here. It was a dream lover, right? But it was not real. Or it can't help you. Like even if this person has been alive once, they're not there, right? So it's not helping you. It's not helping you. If you actually do want to spread your wings here, is there something that wants to catch you? Is there something that is holding this, applauding it, like supporting it? But I think that she's doing this anyway. I actually feel that it's like she's taking this flight anyway, because she has to. She cannot be bound. She feels the call to spread her wings, fly away. She cannot be bound. She has to go for true love, perhaps here, when the Lovers is reversed here, which could indicate that this is definitely not true love, right? She's going towards the big one here. Again, here you could have been juggling with just, like small pearls, in the sense that, well, it's convenient, it's fun, and they are nice friends with benefits maybe. But here I go towards the true love here. This is the biggest, this is the love over everything. This is my highest calling. This is the one my heart burns for, or something like that. Feeling this call to go towards something more, again, something bigger, right? Something bigger. That there is a pearl that overshines everybody else. Everything else you've been dealing with here. There is a pearl that overshines everything else. And you are not like, this is a clarifying card reversed here. You will not deal with like illusions. You don't want to deal with people that don't love you and don't want your best interest and don't want equality or fairness or balance, that have bad intentions or things like that. You don't want to deal with that. You are aiming for something else here now. Aiming system, you feel that call to aim for something more, something balanced, or the true contract. Maybe you are aiming for the true contract, but with no vision, perhaps. Here you may not know. Again, you cannot rely on your normal way of looking for a partner, for instance, right? That maybe you have to go with like very intuitive feelings here. That you can't, like, we are so influenced by media, right? We're influenced by how a partner should look and what they should earn and, well, how they should conduct themselves, right? And we have preferences for that. But here it seems like there is a call to go for even higher or better or more abundant. Even though you may not know, you just have to feel, right? You may not be able to see it. You just have to feel it, like she is doing here. How does she make this scale balance? It's a feeling, right? It's a feeling how she's doing this. So there is a quest here, or a mission, or attempts to go towards something that just feels balanced. It feels like it balances something out in you. It feels like it gives you a sense of I don't know, maybe peace, maybe excitement, maybe bliss, right? There's this sense of needing to try to do different things and then figuring out where can I just flow like that? Where do I feel like I can just flow and I'm held here? That nobody is judging or nobody's saying anything or they actually just like it. They like me when I do this, right? They like when I'm like this. So I want to find places where I can do this, because it seems like you may have been part of something where you couldn't do this, or it was an illusion. It was a dream. Again, it was some kind of icon you had in your mind. It would never ever be balanced. It would never be true. You may have hoped for it, but it didn't. Yeah, so for the Three of Water, again, I get a purple card here that says reclaim your energy. Yeah, you are low or have been low in batteries here. You're using all your life force energy on juggling something that feels, yeah, I get this feeling of it's stagnant. Like it's small, or it's not, it's small projects maybe, or it's small children, or it's something that it can't do on its own. You have been using a lot of energy on this, and you need some balance here. Reclaiming your energy, trying to get some of this back, to actually do what it is that you want and get out of something that is not, that really isn't. Again, it could be a contract, a marriage, right? But maybe it turned out to be a loveless one, or it ended up with being I feel like when this is reversed, that it probably wasn't love. You thought it was, I think, right? But it wasn't. And again, sometimes I believe that people, they're looking for a partner. And they believe that when this partner comes around, then my life is going to be perfect. But sometimes I'm not sure it's the partner. Like, for some people, yes, of course it is. We're looking for this other half we talk about. But I also feel like sometimes there can be more, right? For some people who have been in very binding contracts like this, sometimes this is freedom, right? Just the feeling of being free. Like this, it is the feeling of being free. Like there are no ties. There's no debt, or there's no ties, or there are no strings. They want to be free. They want to be without attachment. Maybe this can be a vision quest into, let's say, spirituality. It can be a vision quest into music. This could be a vision quest into, I get something about psychedelic dance or something. I don't know about that. But again, it could be a spiritual quest that some people do that using ayahuasca or something to enhance their awareness or something like that. Enhance their awareness about who they are, and And then it's like the world becomes so bigger, right? It's like suddenly you see the pearl. You may have been looking for your pearl, like your mission, your mission in life. Feeling that you have been extremely, like occupied with stuff here and not knowing what else could be there for you. And now she's dancing here or flying here or attempting towards Jupiter or towards the moon, or just spreading her wings. Alone, I feel like. Alone. 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 Spreading her wings. Feeling the call here to do that. And to relax. And to trust. And I don't feel like being involved with someone. Like it's not like that. I think that, again, as I said, for many people, the greatest abundance is to find this love in your life. And it's beautiful if this is upright, right? But if it turns out to be not that great love, or at least it's not a love where she can, where she can relax like this. Where she can utterly just, like she does, give herself here, relax and melt into his arms here. If she can't do that, it's not right for her, and it seems like someone is looking for that, right? She wants to be able to melt into someone's arms. Even if she doesn't look like a pearl, right? Like she doesn't have to stay a pearl. Like sometimes the pearl explodes here, right? Or that's what I feel here. It's like the pearl is exploding, or is changing its ways. And it wants to be held anyway. It wants to be embraced anyway. Even though it goes through transformation perhaps here and changes into something else, it still wants to be embraced. And sometimes we need to go somewhere else to find that. Like the people around you that normally have been there, they don't get it. Right? Like they would shake their heads and think, what are you doing, right? There is a call to follow some kind of quest here. I feel like it's a bigger love, I want to say, a bigger love, a contract you feel like you have with someone. And it is balanced, but you have to feel your way to it. It's not going to be, and I'm not saying it's a person. It could be, but I'm not sure. Maybe you have a contract, as I said, with, well, maybe it's a mission. Like the vision quest, maybe it's a mission, a life purpose, a purpose quest here. Maybe that's your contract, that you are here for some kind of purpose. More than you are here to be with your love. You probably want that, but when it's reversed, you don't want it, right? It's not a good card reversed here. Then it has nothing to do with love. It probably has to do with fantasies or codependencies or things like that. It seems like here, Taurus, that there is an attempt to find some kind of vision quest. I feel like Of course, you could get out of a contract, but I feel like it's just to pursue another one then. You could get out of a marriage contract with someone here. It could also be that you are leaving the idea behind that love with another man here or woman is going to be the greatest thing in your life. Maybe you're leaving that behind and you're pursuing something else, like a purpose or an ideal. Again, I get icon, like, you know, becoming a called contract. It's like there is a purpose that is more. There is a purpose that is more, I feel like, Taurus. It's like a yeah, it's so big, right? It overshines everything else. It becomes like the primary driver in your entire life. It's such a big deal, right? And this is what you are now. This now becomes your quest to get this done. To, well, it could be, you know, like something like a purpose about humanity, or like it's big. I feel like it's a big thing, right? That you feel the call to do or follow. A higher calling of some kind. And I think that you cannot get there by using normal means. Like you may need to literally lay back here, close your eyes, like she has, and you have to feel your way towards it, right, with this one. Like, I have that feeling you cannot rely on another person. You are doing this on your own. It becomes this very big thing in your life. It overshines everything else. It becomes this major driver. But you cannot see it. Let's say that. You cannot, it's not like you can. Yeah, I said here before something like, that you have, just as an example, I said that maybe you've been drawing 3 different princesses and now you're choosing one of them and trying to make an animation film out of it. Here it actually comes across as the other way around. It's like you don't even know that you're going to end up with a princess. You're just starting the realm. Let's say that. So you see, like it's a reverse process or something. With the princess and the idea of the animation film, it's going to be like there is some kind of plan. Here, there's no plan. Here, there's no plan. The way she flows here. There's no plan. So she, you know, it's just something about I have to trust something. I have to trust this feeling that I have. I'm not sure what it's going to tell me. I'm not sure how to get there. I'm not sure to find investment, or I'm not sure even who to collaborate with. I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be. It's a journey. The journey of a call to fulfill some kind of contract, but you don't know what it is. It's not a love thing. I don't think so. Or you have even walked away from that. Like maybe this has been like something you really wanted in your life. Now it's like, no, you're not going there. We know Taurus is known as the Hierophant, right? The Hierophant can be a priest. So maybe someone is attempting, you know, like an utterly different kind of connection than this one can give you, right? A different connection that is more, perhaps, that is bigger. This could be an awakening to God, or something like that, like a giant big epiphany about something. The Hierophant and the High Priestess, same energy, or similar energy. It has to do with different forces, right? It has to do with faith, belief, and trusting in, let's say, elements, nature, energies, things like that. So there could be this feeling that is between this Hierophant thing here and then the vision quest, that something, like suddenly something, it becomes very big, like now I have to pursue, I feel like I have to pursue this, I have to understand this. I've had many of these during my awakening time. I remember at some point I felt like that there was a big draw towards shamanism, right? But then I had conversations with some shamans, practitioner shamans. I had, I joined some of this drum making and like shaman walks in nature and things like that. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to me, right? And then I tried other kinds of, I was digging into other energies and reading about them and mysticism and different kinds of, I've mentioned Hecate, I've mentioned Morgana maybe a long time ago. I've mentioned like difference of these, maybe again, like are they fantasy witches, or what are they? We have, like in history way back, there has been many goddesses and gods of the land and creature and sexuality and all kinds of stuff. If you look into Egyptian or Greek mythology, there are many of them, right? Buddhism has many thousands of them, governing different kinds of themes in life. So you can dive into many if you want to, right? I just feel like someone is standing out here. Something is standing out that you want to pursue. And there is a sense of bliss or trust here that I feel like it overshines the attempt of having like an earthly partner. It's like it's more than that. It feels like a purpose thing for you, for humanity, for something that just overshines everything. And a call to go there. It's like there is a contract. You have agreed to something, or you have agreed to figure this out or do this or something like that. That's what it feels like. With the contract card, the contract card is, well, it could be that you're trying to get out of a marriage, of course, here, a loveless one, or something that turned out not to be what you hoped for. But it can also tell me that, like, that the contract can be like the feeling of, let's say, past life contract, or like a karma thing, that I want to try this in this lifetime, right? One more card on the vision quest here from the Priestess of Light. Let's see your divine feminine cards here. Okay, interesting. So I get here, I get Miao Shan, and she talks about being the princess of mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. Mercy. Mercy. Again, mercy is an interesting thing because we can look for mercy and we can be merciful. So there could be something here that has become very big, and maybe it is a search for mercy. Maybe it is a search of being merciful. Mercy. Looking for mercy. A call to look for mercy. Again, the contract, like and now again I get back to this kind of traitor, treason, deserter kind of energy. Like a feeling of some kind of guilt or something, right? That you should so maybe you're merciful. Maybe you're merciful, or maybe you're looking for mercy in some way. Like, but and this can explain something as well. Like, if you are actually somehow have some kind of karmic thing going on here, where you feel like you are in a contract here that makes you feel that you have to look for mercy or forgiveness, that could be the reason why you are keeping this wheel going. Why you sit here and you're not moving. And why it's draining your energy to do this. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. Interesting. Yeah, giving is receiving. But why do I then get the feeling of balance and reclaim your energy? It feels a little bit like you're giving to something, and there could be a feeling of mercy. As long as I give something, then I will be, released from this contract here. Then I'm no longer, needing to look for mercy or look for forgiveness in some kind. Yeah, I had this feeling of traitor and deserter in the beginning, something like that you've done something that is it says a traitor to your trade. Maybe a traitor to your race, a traitor to your job, a traitor to your family, a traitor to your mother, a traitor to your children, a traitor to something, right? Or a deserter. A deserter is someone who leaves someone else behind. Leaves something or someone else behind. And maybe you have been doing something here not to do that, right? Not to leave something behind, but it drains your energy, I feel like. It drains your energy to stay in something that may be loveless, you know, and needing to break out of it. So when we look for mercy, I want to say, oh, this is a terrible one. Especially if we're looking for mercy with a person. Because if you feel like you somehow have done something and you're looking for their mercy, you put all the power in their hands. Like all the power is now in them, is in their hands. And they may never, ever, ever, ever going to give you that mercy or forgiveness. They can choose to keep you hanging around, doing all their stuff, because they know that you are regretful. Like you are trying to do repentance or something like that. But you see, they can keep you there forever. That could be the contract here. That maybe this is even past life, that this has been just going on for I don't know, way long here. So if you are looking for a vision here, like a merciful, looking for mercy, you may not need to look for it with a person. Like maybe you to break this contract here, or even it out, you may need to look for that mercy somewhere else. And giving is receiving. So maybe if you are merciful to someone else, it also allows you to feel more forgiven, you could say, on the inside. That if you can somehow find a way of being merciful to someone else who may have not treated you very nicely here, maybe it's going to help you in feeling mercy inside yourself also. Mercy is a terrible, seeking mercy is a terrible feeling. It's like we've done something wrong. And you may know what it is, or you may not know what it is. And then we're looking for this excuse, or we're looking for this, or not excuse, we're looking for the forgiveness. And as I just said, all the power is in someone else's hand. And another thing that is even worse about it is that it keeps you in a particular state while you are still hoping to get it. It keeps you locked, stagnant. Because the urge to look for mercy is a bind. Mercy is like we've done something horrible. Something utterly horrible. This could be the feeling that I need the forgiveness of God or something here, right? Like it's so big here. But you see how it can keep you held there, right? You are utterly and totally in their hands. And as long as you're looking for their mercy, you will do whatever they tell you to. Maybe that's why I have this feeling, right? That they will tell you, if they tell you to bend over, you would bend over because you're looking for their mercy. And you hope that they will give it to you. It's a terrible state because it keeps you in a... So this card actually reverses some energy here. I don't know if we should put that much emphasis on it. But there could definitely be a feeling of wanting to give something. If not mercy, then give something, give being in some kind of service, giving back to the community, helping others in some way, because it may help you release you from this feeling of this contract, especially if you have that, like a strong inner urge of needing mercy from someone or something. Yeah. So now I take another card on the vision quest here, and I get this card here that talks about tenderness and this girl that is kissing this giraffe. It says true love and compassion. Yeah, I said before something about looking for something more, a higher love, a bigger love, something true, unconditional, things like that. And here it's between two species. So again, I have this feeling that there's something about I'm not saying you're going to kiss a giraffe, right? But the point is that there's this connection. There's a connection between her and something else here. And in this case, a giraffe, right? So there could be this feeling of a connection between you and let's say music, that when you dance, it's just like you are just totally flowing in this. You're totally held and safe and utterly absorbed in the dance, right? Or maybe this is a spiritual quest that you find God here, perhaps, or as I said, there could be different kinds of things that you have been juggling with here. You're trying to figure out some people live with pets all their lives, like a dog, and they become their best friend, like the most reliable and most loyal companion, right? So there could be maybe also a feeling of maybe I should, I'm definitely looking for this higher love, this call, this special thing. Some find release and feelings of connection in nature, right? Or in meditation maybe. And there are probably other ways of doing this. The card here says compassion. Here, true love and compassion. So maybe there's also something about if I show compassion to other people, towards other people, maybe they will show compassion to me, or life will. And that is a way of finding a sense of mercy here. Again, there could be something about icons, like maybe again here, if you want to show mercy, or you want to be this person that can embody compassion, that can be kinder, that can be bigger, that you have more to how can I say this? Yeah, there could be this feeling of like I'm aiming for something specific here, and it's a bigger purpose of mine, or it's a bigger lesson or journey. I'm on this journey where I'm figuring out about compassion, or I'm figuring things out about love. I'm figuring things out about what it is that I want to be or do in my life, or how to somehow evolve as a person. I'm not looking for another lover just. This is something else about me. It has to do with my roots. It has to do with who I am. It may have to do with this one, right? I reclaim some energy, some power here. I need more balance in my life. It's like someone attempting to have started some kind of journey where they are looking for some kind of connection with something that can be this purpose, or this something they can fall in love with, like loving themselves when they do this, right? That when I write or when I paint, I love myself. I love what I'm creating. I love my paint studio, even though there are spots everywhere, right? I love this environment. I feel so in tune with myself. I'm energized. And when I do this, or when I don't know, when I go and feed the homeless, or when I'm doing this, then I know that I'm giving, or I'm investing in something, and I'm reaching for something here. I may not know exactly what it is, but I just know that I have to balance something out, that the scales have not been right. The scales have not been right, and in my attempt to figure out how to do this, to get this justice in some way, I feel like I have to do something else here. I have to free myself. I have to reclaim some kind of old energy, perhaps. Again, I feel like she has something to say here about this. Maybe some kind of knowledge. But I feel like she's barely looking through here, like she's not quite there yet. She is called, like the call is here with the crown chakra. It's definitely, you do hear something, you do feel it. You do know that there's something that needs to be done. You just don't know what it is, I think. And again, the three shells here could be this feeling of like wanting community somewhere, seeking it somewhere, but it's just like it's not really showing up, perhaps. Mercy cards, quite interesting. Maybe I should read about her. Let's see. Let's have a look at her. So this is this one, right? Miu Shan. Miu Shan represents the incarnation and fulfillment of mercy. She was a Chinese princess who is believed to have lived during the Tang dynasty from 618 to 907, and to have been the incarnation of the goddess Kuan Yin. She was the daughter of a king who wanted her to marry a wealthy man in order to secure more wealth and power for himself. When she refused, the king sent her to live in a monastery on a secluded island off the coast of China. When the king found out that Miu Shan had transformed the barren island into a paradise, he got so angry that he ordered the monastery to be burned to the ground. But when Miu Shan saw the monastery in flames, she prickled the tip of her tongue with a hairpin and magically summoned a storm that put out the fire. The king then ordered Miu Shan's execution, but no blade or sword could kill her. Instead, each weapon scattered into pieces before touching her body. After several attempts, a gorgeous glowing white tiger appeared and spirited Miu Shan away. The tiger took her to meet Yama, the ruler of hell. Miu Shan immediately heard the suffering of the souls all around her, and one by one she liberated them from the fierce power of her empathy. Yama had to send Miu Shan away because she was transforming hell into heaven. He gave her the peace of longevity as a gift. Miu Shan meditated for many years on the island of Putuashan. News reached her that the king was on the verge of death and that he needed the eyes and arms of a person without anger in order to live. Miu Shan gave him her eyes and arms. The king was revived and came to honor the person who had saved his life. When he saw that his savior was Miu Shan, he fell to his knees, humbled by the extent of her mercy. So when your soul selects her card, the author Sue Monk Kidd articulates the process of empathy so clearly when she writes, "Empathy is the most mysterious transaction that the human soul can have, and it's accessible to all of us, but we have to give ourselves to the opportunity to identify, to plunge ourselves in a story where we see the world from the bottom up and through another's eyes and heart. Empathy is mercy's twin sister. When we can feel into the reality of someone else's suffering, we open up to the possibility of mercy. Mercy comes from the old and true Etruscan merc, which means exchange. Mercy is the embodiment of compassion. It can feel easy or even natural to have compassion for people who have never harmed us personally. But mercy is having compassion for someone who has. Mercy requires that we give something of ourselves, which is symbolized by Miu Shan giving her eyes and arms to the king. It can feel like a great sacrifice to be so giving towards someone who has given us nothing but suffering. Here's where the magic comes in. The law of the universe is merciful. The more we give, the more we receive. When the king realized the profound act of mercy his daughter bestowed on him, Miu Shan transformed into her true manifestation of the thousand-armed Kuan Yin. Miu Shan is a reminder that giving is the true receiving. When we refuse to release our anger towards someone, we are blocking the flow of the universe within us. We are not harming the person who harmed us by remaining angry. We are keeping ourselves from receiving the love and light that is already ours. Yeah. So, in whatever means that is said here, I feel like I'm glad I read this. I think because it may again it may well, I guess that there's something here about maybe having idealized someone, having accepted how they have maybe kept you small here in some way, and then trying to embrace some kind of journey or purpose here about compassion, and love, and you're still reclaiming your energy here by doing that the more you can forgive, the more you can release the contract here between you, and then you could say that anger or mercy and compassion can come if we understand someone else's business or someone else's life. Even understanding their past and their upbringing, we can have sometimes a greater compassion for them. I'm not saying that it's necessarily easy, but I feel like there could be something about this here. That one of the ways of breaking through of whatever dynamic this has been is to break out, of course, yeah. But then also breaking out with compassion, you could say. I guess it's probably also not to create a new sense of karma, right? So you're just repeating everything again at some point. Having a sense of tenderness or understanding even about people that are not there anymore, or people that never loved you. And that mercy is not necessarily coming from someone else, right? That you're ruled by Venus, Taurus, and I think, well, you have a lot of love to give. I do think that. And it can be with very good intentions. Whether it always fits other people and all children around you, I'm not sure, right? We all make mistakes like that, or that it's not the right. We do try, I think. But for some reason, it seems like in all families, there's something that can be pointed at later on as a problem, right? So you could have idealized someone, you could have idealized yourself and wanting others to just being tools in your hand here. Now seeking some kind of mercy maybe. But again, you can do that through your own compassion with others. Finding that empathy, growing that empathy in you. So maybe this is a journey of empathy and understanding other people's view of a situation, other people's, let's say, desires or lusts, or other people's faith or something. Seems like an interesting story about probably some very underlying energies that maybe you haven't been aware of them, like codependency, the driving forces behind codependency, and lack of empathy from maybe some people around you, or that they haven't had empathy for you. And knowing that I'm on this quest now, an important thing for me to get some kind of balance, or to equal something out, or to meet a contract, or to cancel a contract. If it's a karmic contract, right, that you are. It's almost like there's something that needs to be paid back. And I think that's why I had this feeling of traitor or deserter, right? That there's this need to pay something back, or that you have violated something. You have violated love. You're ruled by Venus, as I just said, right? A very loving goddess, right? And it almost feels a little bit like you have betrayed love, or someone has here. Like true love, I believe, has to do with the sense of acceptance that other people may act in ways that we don't like, but it doesn't matter. It's about accepting and loving someone nonetheless. Even though they act differently, or they speak differently, or they get totally different jobs, or they annihilate. As I said, I talked about queens, nobility, royalty. Even if they neglect or annihilate, or walk away, or reject a title of some kind, that or as she did, Mao Xiang here in the story, right? That she refused to marry this person that the king has selected for her, because it would benefit him, right? It would benefit him if she did. So she refused, and he got so furious with her that he locked her up, threw her out. In what way was that loving, right? In what way was that kind? In what way was that understanding? It's her daughter. Oh, sorry, it was his daughter. It seemed like there was no real interest in her happiness. There was no real interest in whether there was love there or not. right? It was just a business deal, and she didn't want to agree to it. Being the personification or incarnation of Kuan Yin, like Kuan Yin is, that would be the same as Mother Mary. It's like, it's the utter mother energy, utter Venus energy, right? And those energies are so pure and so kind and so good, and they do have so much empathy, and it's a very beautiful energy. Of course, it shouldn't be taken for granted or exploited, and therefore it deserves respect, right? It deserves respect and understanding when someone is willing to put their own needs aside, to look at you and feel your pain or embrace you like a mother and trying to help you through your emotions. That is special. Because there are many other people who don't do that. Like, they are not willing to put their own agenda aside. They don't have time. They don't care. Or they may have 3 minutes, right? But that's it. So people that actually do, people that actually care, people that actually are willing to do stuff to heal you or help you or heal your emotions, help you with that, having that empathy about your situation and compassion for your life, they are special. And well, sometimes they are very peaceful people, like they want to help, they don't want to fight you, but they can be exploited, and they can be neglected, and maybe there is some kind of, need here to, I feel like make it up to them, or pay back, or something like that. Or maybe just an apology, right? Maybe just that it becomes urgent somehow here. To again, not just sit on the throne here and rule, right? But actually become honest and say something, reach for something. And I think like it's on your mind. It's very big. It's like it surrounds you 24/7. That feeling that I need to make this up again. I need to get this right. I need to get this. Like, I feel this urgency, right? That to do this, to even out this energy somehow, right? There's a need to balance something here. Maybe with, again, I don't know what these 3 shells are, but it's definitely something that seems like it's small. It could be a bit stagnant, like it's not moving on its own. I get feeling of lodging, like something that just stays, Like, you've said okay for 3 friends to crash on your sofa for a weekend, right? But then it's like they're just staying. And it actually becomes a bit, now it's too much. I need my time. I need my space again. But then needing to find a way to free yourself, or needing to find a way to some kind of release, I feel like, in whatever way that may be. right? That in whatever way you may find this release, this sense of mercy, or this sense of forgiveness, or this sense of, and maybe through giving back in some way, you can do that. I also get a feeling of it's time. That's why it's so urgent. It's like, it's time. I need to do this. I need to get this out of the way. You know, someone who hasn't spoken with their father or mother since they were a child or very young, and now it's like maybe this, as we read in the book, the king is dying, and they are looking for like the last goodbye with their parents or with their children, and they're asking for the children to come, right? Because there's something that needs to be balanced before I go, right? There's something I need to get off my chest, or there's this secret that I need to tell you, and it will show, it will tell you everything, right? There's this thing that I need to do or say or pursue, so that we can even out this contract in some way. So for the High Priestess here, I get this card, clarity. It says planning, releasing, illusion. So it seems like something has been stirring here, as I said, with the High Priestess. She's looking through, maybe not quite seeing everything yet, but it's getting there, right? Releasing illusions about the past, releasing illusions about yourself, perhaps. Seeing more clearly and making other plans, I feel like. So this is some like very clear-sighted High Priestess here that sees through the lies and betrayal and everything, right? She's very capable of, again, seeing through lies and intentions that were never real from the get-go. Maybe you have like very clear, you could say, intuition here about whom you can trust in your life, or at least you have it now. When she's here, you know it now, right? And she's asking you to plan, right? She's asking you to plan to move on, to get somewhere else, to go somewhere else. She's asking you to see what's there and not what's not there, right? To see what's there and what you can work with, and not some kind of dream or icon, or not some kind of, you could say, fantasy in some way. Yeah. I feel like I've been, and I did feel that, like before, I've taken some days here after the Aries reading to try to figure out how to do your reading, but I feel like I'm going out on different paths here with you, And maybe it's because there's this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, because it will of course affect other, like, people in many different ways, depending on where you have Jupiter and Uranus in your chart, right? I do feel like I have like different, and again, I see the parent, I see the child, I see the man, I see the woman. Actually, it's a big puzzle to hold, to do a reading like this, I feel like. But I hope that I somehow got through to many of these paths, I feel like. And there's still this red thread of feeling a call to do something. That can be this feeling of a contract that is binding you, or you need to have better balance. You may be needing to break out of something, searching, yearning, or reaching for something. There could be mercy involved. There could be compassion and empathy involved. And there's something about reclaiming your own energy while not becoming angry, I think. While not becoming angry, while you simultaneously see what's an illusion and what's actually lies around you, right? Or masks or something like that. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I hope this helped somehow, Taurus. I wish you my very best. Take care of yourself out there. Love and light to you. Bye-bye.